Over the years, we have seen some awesome first-person shooters taking over the multiplayer space. From the early days of the Xbox 360 and getting to experience the rise of Call of Duty, to the Xbox One era with the explosive rise of Battle Royale games. Over the past few years though, FPS games have become very tiresome and look incredibly similar, and there's something calling for a change. We no longer crave the yearly edition of each Call of Duty title with little to no change and really killing the immersion. But in the distance, a shining light came towards us. A brand new studio formed with experience from previous good Battlefield games and the promise of a free-to-play experience with a very wide skill ceiling and no egregious microtransactions. It is one that's blowing up right now on Xbox consoles, and that game is none other than the Finals. Now, I know many of you have probably never heard of this game before, but I have to say it's one of my favourite multiplayer FPS experiences that I've played over the past 5 to 10 years. The game really has it all, from more casual game modes to competitive ranked experiences, full-on destruction of everything within each map, and even free items alongside a paid battle pass to add to that beautiful and addictive grind. I know many out there really did write the Finals off over the past year, and many tried to pin this on Steam player count, but actually this is so far from the actual truth. The game is absolutely thriving on console in particular, with the community lead over at Embark actually stating that over 300,000 daily users on the Finals, and that number is growing daily. Even if you go over to the Xbox Store section of the free-to-play games, the Finals is blowing up and is always near the top of this entire list. I have to say though that even when jumping into any game mode within the Finals, the matchmaking times are incredibly fast. The fact that this game has an insane amount of content, also SBMM not existing, alongside a major tournament with a $100,000 prize coming up soon, there's just so much going on with the Finals, and there's even a bigger and larger roadmap for us coming soon. This game is blowing up for all the right reasons, and could easily be the highlight of this generation of consoles. So, if you're unaware about how the Finals plays, I'll give you a very brief summary in under 60 seconds. Cash Out is the main game mode across quick play, tournament, and ranked. In essence, you are dropped into a team of 3, choosing between light, medium, or heavy classes, and your objective is to open these so-called cash vaults and deposit them into a cash box. Your job then is to either defend or steal before the time runs out, and once that depletes, the team who holds it actually gets the cash. For quick play is the first to 2 cash outs, and then in tournament is the teams who have the most cash that actually win, and it goes up in a sort of seeding order. It's quick, it's fast, it's frenetic, and teamwork is all but essential. I did mention the different classes earlier on, and these have been so well balanced in this game unlike other games on the market. So you can pick between Light, who essentially darts around the map, causes flanks and has some high weapon damage but very low health, a Medium who is more of a 50-50 support and attack playstyle with a chance to heal and defib allies, use gadgets for attacks, and is essentially middle of the road with health and damage. Then you have the Heavies, who are literal tanks of the games with shields, RPGs, and all around a good class to jump on objectives with. There are so many weapons and gadgets and so much more within each class, and they never get boring, and balancing most of these has been perfectly executed by Embark. Of course, teamwork always outshines pure run and gun action for any of these classes, and each fits a perfect mold, so you and your team can always ensure you're perfecting your strategies and your plans on the fly with relative ease. You may be thinking though and asking me, Fletch, where does the Finals actually improve, and why is it worth my time over other games say like Call of Duty? Well, one big area which always gets spoken about with any competitive multiplayer shooter is skill-based matchmaking.
It's skill-based and ranked, exactly, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but in Jack's defense, SBMM is one of the stupidest things that's ever existed in video gaming history.
Well, if that's how you feel, and I really don't blame you, Embark has included absolutely no skill-based matchmaking in the Finals, and it actually has never done this since its launch. The only time it was ever enabled was during a tiny test window for select creators, and they actually reverted it back ever since. So if you have complaints in games like Call of Duty or Marvel Rivals, then this game is absolutely perfect for you. Another common complaint, of course, and I mentioned this earlier, is the fact that so many out there have issues today about the state of how similar games are, especially in the multiplayer space. You have Marvel Rivals, which is just essentially Overwatch, Call of Duty being compared to the likes of Battlefield and also X-Defiant, rest in peace, Fragpunk, which is quite literally a reskin of Valorant, and then the plethora of Battle Royale games with so many to name that they all have the exact gameplay loop. The finals though completely turns all of that on its head, and Embark has literally produced a game that is so unique. It really stands on its own head, and there's no other game quite like it, so it really stands out from the crowd with its unique gameplay premise. The game quite literally is the first of its kind, and you can see why so many players are diving into it on Xbox currently, because you really get that high of a brand new game that's never been done before. Now, don't get me wrong though, the finals did have a very rocky start, especially with a couple of seasons. The first season, don't get me wrong, had quite a few crashes for a lot of Xbox players, but I also have to say that the progression was pretty lackluster. The fact the season went on for literal months and all you had was a battle pass at that stage, it really did become a pretty long grind, and I have to say that I'm so glad that first season is officially over and long and gone by this point. There was also the dreaded third season, which is when I kind of fell off this game personally due to the devastating nerfs across the board to so many weapons. Lights were, and I have to be polite here, the scourge of this game in season 3, and I just wanted to shut off my game so many times due to this. That's essentially why I left the finals, but I'm so glad I came back in season 5 and season 6, as the gameplay now is phenomenal. There are always going to be rough seasons for any live service outing, but the best thing is that Embarked improved on it very quickly, and the current season 6 is absolutely phenomenal. Season wise though, you may be asking what sort of content we actually get with this one. Well, usually we get a brand new map, some new weapons and gadgets, and then tweaks to the formula to always ensure that when a meta is found, it is somewhat adjusted for the next season. For season 6 though, we've seen the introduction of the minigun, a new light assault rifle, and then big changes to some existing weapons like the AK, and they just make them so much more viable. With new seasons though, of course comes some brand new progression, and this is where the finals really strives and does well within this area, especially for a free-to-play game. The fact that you have a leveling track which gives you free items is just awesome to see. There is also of course a battle pass which has free and paid for items, a ranked mode which also rewards you with exclusive skins, and also coins for the shop, and so much more. There's just so much to aim towards within the finals experience that there's always some sort of track or level that you're working towards. You even have the certain game show sponsors that they've put into the game now, which you can actually choose from, and even that rewards you with some exclusive gear that you can work towards yourself or with other players that choose that specific sponsor. They have just put so much free awesome content into this game, and that's even before you want to buy some of the best skins I've really ever seen in a multiplayer game to date. Unlike Call of Duty, where you can run around as Nicki Minaj and losing its identity, this finals game show idea means wacky and over-the-top skins fit perfectly in this setting and make it so unique.
What the hell is even that?
Honestly though, for me today, the finals is one of the best multiplayer experiences here on Xbox, and it's easy to see why it's blowing up massively on the platform. Embark have really created a masterpiece here, and it's only going to get better with a very strong roadmap and more content into 2025 and beyond. I have to say, if you're on the fence about the finals, definitely give it a go. Of course, this one is free to play. If you're a big fan of multiplayer shooters, you will absolutely adore this new FPS. It's tactical, it's competitive, and all around it will give you that massive adrenaline high that we miss from the good old days of Call of Duty. What do you think about the finals, and will you be trying this game out after this video? You'll have to let me know down below. Drop a like down below if you want to see more finals content, as it gives me a good idea and a gauge as to whether you like these videos. Also, subscribe for more Xbox content every single day as I cover more news, reviews, and upcoming games. Whilst here though, why don't you check out the video on screen now, as I covered the games coming out on Xbox and Game Pass this week, and to see if any of them are actually worth your time and money.